So we meet again. Hi, you guys. We'll get started at the usual time, 2 o'clock East Coast time. Anybody there yet? Let's see. Oh, I see. People are here. Okay. All right. Well, I see Julie Feldblum is here, and so is Javed and Johan. Elizabeth is here, and welcome to all of you coming in the room at this very moment. I see Braden and Jake and Marissa and Sophia and Sam and Will and Nina in Connecticut and Jensen and Kinsey and Katie and her dog and Reagan and Connor, Kaylee, JD, Amelia, the Callaways, Solomon, Zachary, Gianluca and Mateo and Patrick, Rob, Char, Austin, Braden, Michaela, Olivia's here, and Haley and Zachary and Daniel and Noah and Logan and Jacob and Amelia. Hi to all of you. I see all of you out there. I'm so happy you came back. And the Maslowski kids and Leela in Fort Lee in Texas is here. And Anna and Sophie from New Jersey and Natalia from Fresno and Fisher, Bradford, Nathan and Dylan from Rahway, Allison and Lucas and Parker, Ella, Blake at Easton are here in Indiana. Mattingly, Brady are here always. Jocelyn, Liz, hi to Ethan and Hayden, and Gemma and Jet and JD and Chase and Ben. And we'll get started in 4 minutes at 2 o'clock East Coast time, everybody. Who else? The Rellinger boys are here, and Abigail and Bridget and Ryan and Rebecca and William, Abby and Isabel and Bailey, Cassie, Cameron. Hi to all of you. Thanks for coming, everybody. Lucas and Connor and Eva, Natalia, Lainey, Chloe, Tyler, Reagan, and Kevin. We're going to have some fun today, Monday. Three minutes until we get started. I'll take a sip. Hi to Stella and Max. AJ and Morgan. Leo, Evelyn, Patrick, hi, thanks for coming. Tell your friends, you still have 3 minutes. Call up your friends down the street or at your school or your cousins around the country. We still have time to get them in here. We're going to have some fun, as we always do. Andrew, Ryan, and Lucas, Landon, and Ariana. Darcy, hi, Darcy. Thanks for coming to all of you. Sorry I can't mention everybody's name. Olivia is here. And Zach from Clayton, New Jersey. I was going to say Zach and Clayton, but Avery and Ethan and Molly's here. Bailey's here. Space is my favorite thing. Okay. Bryn and Devin and Taryn are here. We got 2 minutes to go. Hi, Jess and Aiden and Katie and Lucas and Margot. So glad you all came. Evie from Miami and Corey, Michael and Christina. Hi, everybody. We're going to have some fun. The first couple of times I did this, I was really nervous, and now I'm kind of really feeling more loose about it. So I guess that's a good thing. I think so. Anyway, we'll get started in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, actually, East Coast time. Hey, Logan, Noah, Mika, Cooper, Hudson, Emma in New York. Aloha to Noah in Hawaii. I love it when people are far away are listening in. Okay. Eli in Ohio. The Charlton kids are here. We got less than 1 minute to go. Amy and Miles are here. Eduardo. Okay. And hi, Mary. Divided what? No divided. We're united. Okay. Madison, Staten Island. Hi, Patrick. How you doing? Smith family. Liam, Amelia. Clark is watching. Okay. I hope so. 59. William and Catherine. It's go time, baby. Thanks for coming to all of you. My name is Dan Gutman. I am the author of the My Weird School series and lots of other books for kids too. It's Monday. You know what that means? It's time for us to start a new book. Yay! But before we do, how about the question of the day? The question of the day today is from Logan from Orlando, Florida. And Logan asks, how did you become a writer? And the answer, Logan, is actually, I never studied to be a writer. I went to college and I finished college and I didn't study writing at all. I was a psychology major in college. Finished college and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I just thought, what do I like to do? And I always enjoyed writing letters to my friends. So I just decided to start writing, at first for grown-ups, and only later did I start writing for kids. And so I've been doing it for a long time now. And I know this is a good time for you guys to write, those of you who like to write, because you're home, you're stuck, you got a lot of time on your hands. So if I may make a little suggestion to you, if you like to write, you might want to check out My Weird Writing Tips. It's not some boring writing book. It's a My Weird School book. So it's funny and silly and crazy, but it will also help you with your writing. And I wish I had a book like this when I was a kid, because I'd be way ahead of myself now. Okay, enough of that. It's time to start our new book of the week, which is titled Miss Tracy is Spacey. And here it is. And this is actually the 9th book in the My Weirdest School series, number 9. And it also has 9 chapters. So what we'll do is we'll do 2 chapters a day. And on Friday, we'll finish the last chapter. And the book will be done on Friday, as we always finish on Friday. Okay, are you guys ready? Gather around your big screen TV, your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone, whatever it is you're watching me on. And let's read chapter 1, which is titled, Welcome, Miss Universe. Okay, here we go. My name is AJ, and I hate putting on plays. Plays are dumb. You have to learn a bunch of lines. You have to stand up in front of the whole school. Everybody's watching. If you make a mistake, everybody laughs. Ugh, I hate plays. I had to be in a play this week. Here's what happened. Most days I take the bus to school, but sometimes my dad drops me off on his way to work. When we pulled into the drop-off line the other day, there was a big sign on the front lawn of elementary school. And here's one of Jim's pictures of the sign. AJ's on the lawn, Welcome, Miss Universe, and AJ's dad is driving AJ to school. Okay? All right. Welcome, Miss Universe. My dad slammed on the brakes. Sorry, he said. I was reading that sign. Who's Miss Universe? I asked. Dad replied. We'd better park the car and go inside to find out. Don't you have to go to work, Dad? I asked. Your education is more important to me than work, AJ, he replied. We parked the car and went inside. There was another sign in the hallway, and here's the sign that was in the hallway. That's my class! Dad and I walked 1,100,000 miles to the classroom. Dad walked really fast. It was like he was in a race or something. I guess he was in a hurry because he had to go to work. When we got to Mr. Cooper's class, you'll never believe who was sitting in the back of the room. Ryan's dad, and Michael's dad, and Alexia's dad, and Andrea's dad. Sorry. And Emily's dad, and Neil's dad. All the dads were sitting in the back of the classroom. Even some dads of the kids in other classes were trying to get into the room. The place was crawling with dads. Some of them had to stand because there weren't enough chairs. And here's Jim's picture of all the dads crowding into the back of the room because they want to see Miss Universe. Okay. That was weird. Usually our moms are the ones who come to school for assemblies and stuff. I said hi to Mr. Cooper and put my backpack in my cubby. Then I went to my seat. That's when our principal, Mr. Klutz, came into the room. He has no hair at all. I mean, none. His head looks like one of those mannequins in a store window. Is Miss Universe really going to be here? One of the dads asked Mr. Klutz. Will we get to meet her? Asked another dad. Can we get our picture taken with Miss Universe? Asked a third dad. Gentlemen, Mr. Klutz replied, please calm down and stop pushing and shoving. Miss Universe will be here any minute, and you can all get your pictures taken with her. Yay! Shouted all the dads. The only one in the room who didn't look happy was our teacher, Mr. Cooper. I was going to do a math lesson this morning, he told Mr. Klutz. Miss Universe is only available for a short time, Mr. Klutz told him, so you'll have to save that math lesson for another day. Fine with me. I hate math. Mr. Klutz went out in the hall. I turned around and saw my dad fussing with his hair. That was weird. I never saw Dad fussing with his hair before. He hardly even has any hair to fuss with. We had to wait a long time for Miss Universe. The dads in the back of the room all looked like they were on pins and needles. But they weren't. At least some of them were sitting on chairs. It would hurt to be on pins and needles. Finally, Mr. Klutz came back in the room. I'm happy to report that Miss Universe is here, he announced. Boys and girls, I'd like to introduce the one, the only, Miss Universe. All the dads pulled out their cell phones and held them up so they could take pictures. And you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years who came through the door at that moment. Nobody. You can't come through a door. Doors are made of wood. But you'll never believe who came through the doorway. It was Miss Universe, of course. She was a short lady with gray hair who looked a lot like my grandmother. She was wearing a big yellow hat with tennis balls, ping pong balls, and some other balls hanging from it. And here's Jim's picture of Miss Universe coming through the door. Hi, everybody, Miss Universe said. My name is Miss Tracy, but you can call me Miss Universe because I'm here to teach you about astronomy. Oh, the dads in the back of the room groaned. Astronomy, what's that? Andrea Young, this annoying girl with curly brown hair, had already looked it up on her smartphone. Astronomy is the study of stars, planets, and outer space, she said. All the dads stood up. Look at the time, one of them said. I'm going to be late for work. Me too, a few of the other dads said. I have an important meeting. I have a train to catch. So do I. All the dads started pushing and shoving to get out the doorway. Wait, shouted Mr. Klutz. Don't you want to have your pictures taken with Miss Universe? No time. Sorry. Gotta run. A minute later, all the dads were gone. That was weird. I guess they didn't want to meet Miss Universe after all. All right, that's chapter 1. Chapter 2. You ready for chapter 2? Chapter 2 is titled Space Week. Okay, here we go. Mr. Klutz told us it was Space Week at elementary school. He said Miss Tracy is a retired scientist who spent her whole career studying astronomy. Are you a mad scientist? I asked her. Well, sometimes I do get mad, Miss Tracy replied. Ooh, she's a mad scientist. Mad scientists are cool. Miss Tracy will probably try to take over the world. That's what mad scientists do. Miss Tracy will be visiting our school for the next few days, Mr. Klutz told us. I have to go to a meeting now, but I'll check back later to see how you're making out. Ugh, gross! I'm not going to be making out with anybody. Mr. Klutz left. Mr. Cooper went to the front of the class with Miss Tracy. He looked like he was still mad about missing his math lesson. What will you be teaching us? Mr. Cooper asked as he passed out name tags so Miss Tracy would be able to call us by our names. We'll be learning about planets, stars, black holes, asteroids, meteors, and everything to do with space, she replied. But mainly, I want to show your students that astronomy can be fun. In a few days, we'll be putting on a little play about astronomy for the school. Oh no, a play? My worst nightmare. I love plays, said Andrea. My favorite play is Annie. Ugh, Andrea said the L word. I hate plays, I said. Oh, you just say you hate plays because I said I love them, Arlo, said Andrea, who calls me by my real name because she knows I don't like it. You always say the opposite of me. I do not, I said. See, said Andrea, you did it again. I bet you secretly like plays, Arlo. I do not. Plays are boring. Oh, I promise you this one won't be boring, said Miss Tracy. Learning about the planets is fascinating. The only thing I know about planets is that our old teacher, Mr. Granite, came from a different one. He was born on the planet Etenarg, which is granite spelled backwards. He came to Earth in a spaceship, but then one day another spaceship came and the aliens took Mr. Granite back to Etenarg. We were all sad. That's when Mr. Cooper became our teacher. You can read all about it in a book called Mr. Cooper is Super. Let's start by talking about the sun, said Miss Tracy. The sun is big, so it's the center of attention. I need a volunteer. Who wants to be the sun? I do, we all shouted. Andrea was waving her hand in the air like she was stranded on a desert island and trying to signal a plane. Here's a picture of Andrea raising her hand in the class. Okay, Andrea, you can be the sun, said Miss Tracy. Come up to the front of the class. Boo, said everybody but Andrea. Yay, said Andrea as she ran up to the front. I should be the sun. My mom tells me that I'm really bright. How come she gets to be the sun? I complained. It's not fair. I have an important job for you too, AJ, Miss Tracy said. I need you to be a planet. Being a planet could be cool, I guess. Well, okay, I agreed. Great. Come up to the front, AJ, said Miss Tracy. What I need you to do is revolve around the sun. Ooh, Ryan said. AJ's going to revolve around Andrea. They must be in love. When are you going to get married? Asked Michael. If those guys weren't my best friends, I would hate them. I don't want to revolve around Andrea, I shouted. Okay, said Miss Tracy. AJ, sit down. Emily, would you like to be a planet? Sure, said Emily. She might as well. She's always revolving around Andrea anyway. Great, said Miss Tracy. Andrea, you stand right here in the middle and don't move. Remember, you're the sun, the center of our solar system. Now, Emily, I'd like you to walk slowly around Andrea, your planet Earth. I'm scared, said Emily, who's scared of everything. You'll be fine, Mr. Cooper told Emily. There's nothing to be afraid of. Emily started walking around Andrea. Good, said Miss Tracy. Every time Emily makes one lap around Andrea, it's called an orbit. That's 1 year. It takes Earth 365 days to travel around the sun. So there are 365 days in a year. Huh. I didn't know that's how they measured a year. I always thought the year ended when you ran out of days on the calendar and your parents had to buy a new one.
Now, Emily, keep revolving around Andrea, said Miss Tracy. And at the same time, I need you to turn around in circles.
Emily kept walking around Andrea and started turning around as she walked.
While the earth revolves around the sun, it also spins or rotates, said Miss Tracy. That's what causes night and day. Remember, Andrea is giving off a lot of light. When Emily is facing Andrea, it's daytime on that half of the earth. When Emily is facing away from Andrea, it's nighttime.
Emily walked around and Andrea spun at the same time. I'm sorry. Emily walked around Andrea and spun at the same time.
Daytime, nighttime. Daytime, nighttime, said Miss Tracy. See?
I'm getting a little dizzy, Emily said. Is that why we see sunrise and sunset? Asked Neil, who we call the nude kid even though he wears clothes. Because the earth spins?
Yes, said Miss Tracy. Very good, Neil.
Are we almost finished? Asked Emily. And here's a picture of Emily rotating and revolving around Andrea, the sun.
I was in a play where I had to sing a song about the sun, said Andrea. The song went like this. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset.
It's so annoying when Andrea sings. Why can't a truck full of planets fall on her head? Can I stop now? Asked Emily.
Keep spinning, Emily, said Miss Tracy. So the earth is revolving around the sun and rotating at the same time. You may not know this, but the earth is also tilted to the side a little. Emily, can you tilt to the side?
I think I'm going to, said Emily. She never had the chance to finish her sentence because that's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. Emily fell down and then she threw up. It was gross. I don't think that happens with real planets. And here's a picture of Emily throwing up. I bet you've never seen that in another children's book, huh? Kids throwing up. All right. Well, that's the end of chapter 2. We'll start with chapter 3 tomorrow, which is titled Throwing Up and Throwing Down. But before we go, how about the joke of the day? You guys ready? All right. The joke of the day is not from me. It's from Trick in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A number of people had this joke, by the way, but I picked Trick's name because I thought it was a cool name, Trick. All right. You guys ready? Here you go. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. I love that joke. Anyway, are you guys ready to dance to our theme song from Josh Saltzman and Ryan Cunningham? You know it. You love it. Let's hear it.
My weird school, I'm AJ and my school's a mess. My weird school, before a school is fine, I guess. My weird school, where odd is cool, and the teachers are strange as a rule. Where Mrs. Yonkers is bonkers, Mrs. Daisy is crazy, Mrs. Cooney is loony, and this lady is zany. And then there's her principal, his name's Mr. Klutz. And man, oh man, is that man nuts. My weird school, 1,100,000 hours long. My weird school, where normal things do not belong. My weird school, where odd is cool, and the teachers are strange as a rule. And my weird school, my weird school. Oh yeah, it's my weird school.
Okay, guys. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, read like crazy. Wash your hands like crazy. See you then. Bye.